Well, I just had a couple of interruptions, so it's been a while since I've been back here, so I'm not sure exactly where I was up to. But I know that this cover has to go over here. So we'll get that in position. I think that before the camera died, because the battery was flat, or either the battery was flat or it had come to a file size limit, one or the other. But prior to that happening, I'm fairly sure I was just closing up the front, getting those 4 screws in position, which fortunately I did achieve. And there are 2 screws here which should have some lacquer on them because they've been lacquered in place. And I'll get those tightened up. At the back here, the next thing I need to put in place, I think, is this little gear, which of course was pinned on. And unlike the other gear, I can't squeeze this one in with my pliers. I'm going to have to punch that into place. Which will probably be entertaining. See if I can tap it down to the edge of a screwdriver. This is probably the more mutilated of the 2 pins. Or at least it started. That's a bonus. I'll find a punch and we'll knock that thing home. I've got a selection of punches. These are from a watchmaker's staking set. They weren't exactly designed for this particular job, but needs must. in. It's in. Didn't even need to swear at it much. Right. This cocking ring at the back. This is quite clean, and all I'm really doing here is just making sure that I'm wiping away the old graphite grease, and it's certainly graphite by the looks of that. And get this in place. So I'm just going to put a smear of molybdenum paste on there, and it won't need much. Mostly the inside I'm worried about there, and of course the back face to a lesser extent, and that doesn't need much. Now as for its position, unfortunately I've marked that, so in the cocked position it is there, because my alignment marks line up. I'll put a tiny smear of molybdenum on there and get this piece in place. Now I got called away, I had 3 phone calls in quick succession. First 2 were phone calls. First call was from Mr. Nobody. There was nobody there. Second phone call from some woman who seemed to be surprised to hear from me, and said they must have dialed the wrong number. And then almost immediately afterwards one of my customers rang me to tell me their tale of woe about their computer. They've obviously downloaded some piece of crap software for the umpteenth time, and I was unable to hold their hand over the phone and get them to uninstall it, so that'll be a job for tomorrow. Right. Yeah, nothing's not releasing. I must have that in the wrong position. No, something's jammed up. Something underneath the front is causing me grief. And this is not releasing. Let's put that back, that's probably okay. It's all working. This gear on the back, that couples right through to the front here. That drives the front ring, and the front ring's job is to open the blades to a fully open position for viewing. Now here, what's going on? Nope, something is not good. One of those mystery ailments. Fiddle around with it, take screws out, check things, put them back. Nothing appears to be out of place. Can't have been holding my mouth right. Anyway, now it seems to work quite fine. So I'm still not exactly sure what had happened there. What's the end of the shutter speed range is this. The fast end, obviously, that must be the 300 end. Let's go down the other end of the scale. B. Next one must be 1. Yep, all appears to be good. Got my 4 screws on the front cover done up tight. That is pretty much ready to go back on the camera body. Does the self-timer work? Let's find out. Can hear it running down. That's it. Okay, that is ready to go back on the camera body. At long last. But first of all, I need to do a bit of panel beating on this. I don't know how somebody managed to do that to it. Even more of a mystery how they managed to do that to it without noticing that they'd done something awful. This brass piece here, this is brass. It's very thin. It's not enthusiastic to lie flat or lie in any shape at all, really. But I'll see if I can get this to cooperate. Oh, that looks a bit better. You'd hardly know. Yeah, that sits on the bodywork right there. But there's a trick. You've got to get this big fat gear here through that hole. So basically this plate has to come off and be fed on with the front. At least that fits. Right. So, flick that off there. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and then I'm going to come back and put that shutter on the camera. Getting the shutter back on one of these is a bit awkward sometimes. I like to cock this shutter first so that I can position this cocking arm here where I want it to be. And on the body, make sure that this hole here is slid to the up position, that's where it couples with the release lever on the shutter itself. This cover plate has to be fitted over the shutter. It only goes in one position. You can see the cutout here around these levers at the bottom. And it's just sitting loosely on here. It's not held by anything. Then I want to make sure I've got the arm here roughly in the right position to couple there. Lift up this lever, and with a bit of luck I'll be able to swing it into position. It'll drop in. I'll get 2 screws in place in opposite diagonals. Now, I'll see if that cocks. It cocks and fires. That's good. That's all I need that to do. That part tells me that I've got my shutter working correctly. There's still more work to do, but I'll get my 4 screws in here, because I've got 2 of them in already, of course. There's the last of them. Flip that lever back out of the way. Right, tighten those 4 screws up. Excuse me. Right, so I've got my coupling on the side here to connect back up. There's 2 very small screws do that. And the bracket. And this piece. So, let's see if I can get these pieces wriggled into place. They're all a bit cursed. First I've got to get the little cover plate in position. Oh look, that went fairly smoothly. That's held in with a single screw, but that screw also holds this bracket in position. Now I want to get the X and the M signs here in roughly the right position, so I'll just pull that lever. Let's cock the shutter. Pull that lever back. That must be the X position there, is it? Let's move that scale forward a bit. That must be the V setting there, which of course is the setting for the self-timer. And it is indeed. I'll check that I can change between the X and the M setting. Doesn't want to move. Oh, I better check and find out what's going on there. No major dramas, fortunately. A little lever here was just the little post that sticks up on the ring that sets the XM sync etc. was leaning in slightly, so it wasn't able to push past the stop, because this piece has a stop on it. It wasn't able to push past there because it was leaning over too far. I was able to reach in and sort that little problem out. So that's all screwed down. I've got to get this spring over its post. And get the coupling for our meter here correctly screwed together. And this is a bit awkward because, like a lot of things, you really only need 3 hands to do it. I've got 1 screw started, that's probably enough to get me started. Get its mate in there. Like that. So, is there anything else here? I'm just checking that I've got all the screws tightened that need to be tightened. Their flash contact needs to go back on there. I'm doing the screw count now. Make sure I've got the right number of screws. All the screws to the right places. Right. So this little bracket I need to get screwed on. Oh, first I've got to solder that wire on, because as I noticed earlier it wasn't actually soldered. It was just sitting crimped on there loosely, which is a bit of a bloody nuisance. And while I'm doing that, I'll get the other wire soldered on there. Then I'll get that screw in place. Then we'll get the cover plate on the front, fit the 4 screws, clean up the front rings, put everything back. No problem. At least that's the theory.